So today I thought I'd do a video on one of my recipes I've been making for years, and I call it heart attack garlic bread. And there's only one bread that it really works for, and that's this SEMIFREDDIS rustic sour. And you will see what I mean by that after I get this stuff all prepped. But it starts with virgin olive oil, 2 sticks of butter, fresh dill, and minced garlic. And you can add salt to this if you want to. I usually don't. So now, probably the hardest part of this, you got to strip this dill so that you get most of the stems out of it. I like to use fresh. You can use the dry stuff if you want. That's what I do if I can't find fresh dill. But this stuff is a little bit tedious to process. Once you get it going, it ain't too bad. So once you get it mostly stripped of all the stems, then you can just use scissors to chop it up. A lot of the stems will separate that way too. You just keep working it. That's looking pretty good. So we got about 3/4 cups olive oil, 3/4 cup of garlic, and then pretty much a whole package of the fresh dill you usually get at Safeway or somewhere like that. But you can use your dry stuff if you can't find the fresh stuff. I am not used to filming in a kitchen, but I'll do the best I can. So now you dump everything into your saucepan with your 2 sticks of butter in there. That's what you get when you clean it. So we get that all melted down and mixed together. And that's kind of what you should look like. And you just get that all melted down and ready to go on the bread. And here comes pretty much I think is the hardest part of this recipe, is cutting that bread exactly right. So we'll see if I can get that done. So the reason why I like to use this SEMIFREDDIS rustic sour is because it will hold that entire contents. Best way I found to do this is get down level. And there we go. Trust me, I've screwed a few of these up. And you want it to sit level, so cut off some of the crusties. Come on, get in there. There you go. Get it to sit nice and flat, so it'll hold all the butter and olive oil. Now salt, butter is pretty salty already, but I do add a little, but you can add about as much as you want, really. It's all up to you. That's about all I add. And you just get all that melted down and ready to go on the bread. I usually prep the sheet pan or the oven with the bread on it, because you don't want to move it after you've already got all this product on there. It's a messy job. And we're almost all melted down now. Get that slurry going in there. It's looking pretty good. You can see how porous this bread is. It's just made for soaking up tons of olive oil and butter. I actually call this recipe heart attack garlic bread. And I think you can see why. So now we're pretty much melted down, and we just start spraying it out. Of course, you want to be as even as possible. Always stirring your slurry so it stays consistent. And you just keep laying it out there. This bread will soak it all up. I usually heat the oven to like 375, which seems to be a decent temperature. With this amount of olive oil and butter, it can go real bad real quick if your oven's too hot. And you got to broil the top of this at some point. You get all of it on there. That's that. So now we see we're all covered. Everything's there, and this stuff slowly soaks in. You can actually heat the bread, and that helps it soak in, but I've just been letting it go the way I've been doing it. Just pouring it on there. It all goes in there pretty much. Okay, well, oven's hot. Slide your bread in. You're gonna hit it for, I don't know, it depends on your oven. Takes this one about 10 to 15 minutes to get the edges kind of golden brown and crispy, and then it goes into the broiler after that. And once it's in the broiler, you gotta watch it carefully. Do not forget it's in there, because this shit will go Chernobyl on you big time. So she's already starting to sizzle. We're gonna wait until these edges turn brown and start to get crispy before we move it into the broiler. So she's coming along. Already starting to get golden brown on the edges. Coming along. All right, so this is looking pretty good. Edges are starting to crisp up. It's just about time to go into the broiler. If you have a convection oven, this goes a lot easier. This is just your old standard oven here, no fans in it. But if you have a convection, it will go a lot quicker and a lot easier without burning it up. All right, well, she is ready for the broiler. Stick her on broil. Drag it out of there. And here's where it gets tricky. You gotta keep an eye on it. I'll bring you guys down there. I prefer to watch it because it will burn up very quickly. But as you can see, it's coming along. Shouldn't be too long. So I won't give you a timeline on how long to broil it because it changes with every oven. But as you can see, it's going through changes. Again, you can see the edges starting to brown up. And you know that's when it's getting hot. I've burned a couple of these up. It's not hard to do. Sometimes I'll take it out and turn it around. This isn't the best oven for this, but it does the job. Should be coming along any minute now. She's really coming along now. And you see it start to burn on the top of the butter and stuff. It's getting close. Let me tell you, there's a certain point where it will flash over. But that's why I call it heart attack garlic bread. And that's what she looks like when she comes out of the oven. Now I like to take the pan, which still got butter in it, and I dump that over it. Let that soak in too. Trust me, it'll all go in there. Once we get it to this point, then we let it solidify. Let it cool down before you start cutting into it, just like if it was a steak. But that's pretty much it for heart attack garlic bread. Everybody seems to like it. Hope you like it too.